Hey, what's good guys, welcome back to TNQVD. And the iPhone 7 Plus and the iPhone 8 Plus both are still part of Apple's lineup, even with the new iPhone XS and the XS Max and the XR. So a lot of people like me who have a very tight budget for an iPhone, but they really need an iPhone, let's say just for development purposes or show off, will be trying to get an iPhone during this festive season, especially towards the end of the year. So I'm going to compare in this video the iPhone 7 Plus with the iPhone 8 Plus. There's a year difference between the two flagships, but is it really worth spending your extra $100 on? That is what we're going to be finding out in this video. So let's get started. Alright, for starters, the iPhone 8 Plus was part of a trio of iPhones that Apple announced in September 2017 along with the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 10. This meant that Apple was essentially targeting two consumer bases. One, who were totally bored of the iPhone's design and with its thick bezels and a home button, and they wanted something new from Apple, especially when all of Apple's competitors were already including OLED displays, edge displays and all those cool stuff. And for them, Apple introduced the iPhone X, Apple's radically new redesign for the iPhone lineup. However, alongside the brand new feature of the iPhone phone, Apple also launched the more traditional looking iPhone, the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 8 Plus. These iPhones were for the people who were familiar with the iPhone design, as it hadn't changed much from the original iPhone. I personally didn't like the iPhone X, as somehow I knew that it was heading for disaster with this $1,000 price tag and its ridiculously expensive repair costs, and I was right. Apple discontinued the iPhone X this year, just a year after it was launched, and replaced it altogether with the newer iPhones. However, that's not the case with the iPhone 8 Plus. The iPhone 8 Plus is still part of the iPhone lineup and will be at least till the next iPhones come out. The design, as I mentioned, is very similar to the whole iPhone design. It has those thick bezels, a home button and a camera on the top left of the back of the phone. The only design change from the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 7 was that the iPhone 8 has glass both on the front and the back, while the iPhone 7 has a premium looking aluminum feel. Although some might argue that the glass makes the 8 and the 8 Plus look premium, it actually makes the phone heavier and it's prone to expensive repairs. Alright, so before we continue, let's have a look at what's remained the same between the 2016 and 2017 flagships. Well, let's start with Touch ID, my favorite feature of the iPhone. Apple still kept the infamous fingerprint scanner on the 7 as well as the 8, and I personally like Touch ID because of its insanely fast unlock speeds and its ease to use with Apple Pay or even downloading apps from the App Store. Next is the front camera. The front camera is a 7 megapixel sensor with an f2.2 aperture, retina flash and the 1080p HD video recording. It's there both on the 8 and the 8 Plus. In fact, they actually pretty much might be the same sensor. Next is water resistance, which is available both on the iPhone 7 and the iPhone 8. However, the iPhone 8 is a notch above the iPhone 7 in terms of the water resistance feature, but they both feature an IP67/68 rating, making them totally safe to splashes or dust. The next is the display. The iPhones have the exact same display, with the smaller iPhone coming in at 750p and the bigger ones coming in at 1080p or Full HD. They support the wide P3 color gamut and look pretty much the same. The sole difference is that the iPhone 8 Plus has a true tone display which automatically adjusts the color and the intensity of the display to match the color temperature of the light in its surroundings. If you're standing in a dimly lit room with incandescent light bulbs, for example, the display would appear warmer and yellow, and if you're standing outside on a cloudy day, the display would appear cooler and bluer. Next are the rear cameras. Both the 8 Plus and the 7 Plus have a 12 megapixel rear facing dual camera consisting of a telephoto lens with an f2.8 aperture and a wide angle lens with an f1.8 aperture. The iPhone 8 Plus has the advantage here because it has a portrait lighting beta support, but all the other rear camera tech specs are identical on paper. If the iPhone 8 Plus and 7 Plus are so similar, is it really worth spending that extra money on getting the 8 series? That's where the differences come into play. The iPhone 8 Plus and the iPhone 8 have wireless charging built in courtesy of the back glass, and even though it might not be nearly as fast as plugging your phone in, it's still a nice feature to have considering so many new IKEA furnitures are coming out with cheap wireless charging pads built into them. The iPhone 7 or the 7 Plus cannot support this feature because it has aluminium, and aluminium, as we all know, is a good conductor of electricity, so there can be no induction that's possible between the surface of the wireless charger and the battery. The next is fast charging. The 8 and the 8 Plus finally added support for fast charging with a catch. You need to use Apple's more powerful iPad or MacBook adapters to use fast charging with the iPhones. If you use a 5-watt adapter that came in the box, you will not get fast charging, and this is not possible with the 7 and the 7 Plus. Yes, sure, you might be able to use the iPad charger to charge it a bit faster, but you will nowhere get the speed of the 8 and the 8 Plus's fast charging. And finally, 4K at 60 frames a second. This is possible on the 8 Plus because of the higher computational power that the A11 Bionic CPU has, and that's also the reason that portrait lighting is available on the iPhone 8 Plus and not the iPhone 7 Plus. Along with these, there are more obvious differences like a boost in the CPU and GPU performance, which produces almost double the score of the A10 Bionic chip in Geekbench, and a slightly better battery life, although the difference is not very much, though the physical battery capacity is lesser on the iPhone 8 Plus. The starting storage of the iPhone 8 received a boost up from 32GB to 64GB, and the highest storage from 128 to 256, the former of which is available on the iPhone 7 series. So is the iPhone 8 and the 8 Plus worth your extra cash? No. But listen to me, if you have the money for it and you really want an iPhone that is at least future-proof for a year after the iPhone 7 series, definitely go for the 8 Plus. The 8 Plus is a great phone. But if you're really on a budget and you really need to get the iPhone, I think the 7 and the 7 Plus is still a great choice in 2019. Now there's also a clear reason for me for saying no. When the iPhone 7 series came out, it was the only form factor iPhone that was available, and that made it the only choice for people who wanted to upgrade. This isn't the case with the iPhone 8 and the 8 Plus. The 8 and the 8 Plus were accompanied by their much more expensive brother, the iPhone 10. So there was no real incentive to buy the 8 and the 8 Plus, which I discussed in my full review over here, which you can go to by clicking the I over here. The iPhone 7 Plus series, however, stands tall and it's an attractive buy, and especially at its American price, both the 7 and the 7 Plus are the best bang for your iPhones that you can possibly get. So that's been it. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys like the video, be sure to hit the like button in the description. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to buy the iPhone 7, 7 Plus or the 8 or the 8 Plus, and all the other iPhones are linked in the description. So if you are buying from there, if you use the links, that will help the channel by giving the channel some commission. It doesn't cost you an extra penny, but it does help in the growth of the channel. So that's been it. Thank you so much for watching this one, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.